First of all, I would like to thank Sastry, whom I know for quite many years. Not as a material scientist, not as a scientist, but as a true Indian. Sastry comes very close from my native place, Kale. And I happened to meet him officially in the chambers of late Parekar sir, because I had given the recommendation for his project proposal in 2015 when it was submitted to DMSRDE. It was lying for quite a long time. And I took over that laboratory. I immediately gave the sanction because I always see worth whenever there is an Indian effort which exceeds 50%. Hardly any such kind of proposals come in the the levels of director recommendations. And it was granted. I am happy that today the SRIVT has become a national heritage center, especially material heritage center. During my talk, I will talk about what all the achievements we did in the last 40 years should be the golden era in Indian materials, if not the world at large. But let me also admit that the world at large got tremendously boosted by the discoveries that are made in the beginning of 19th century. There are, including the Raman spectroscopy and advanced electron microscopy and the latest analytical techniques which you can go up to atomic level of confirming nano level concentrational differences. DMR has got SIMS and etc. You can always see the advancement in the analytical techniques. Okay. With this brief introduction, again thanking the organizers and the chairman for a very nice introduction. I hope I will fulfill what I am supposed to do. I am happy that I made a statement that I spend more hours on this lecture because it's a quite difficult lecture for me to give. Normally I stitch around my standard subjects and then give the lecture, but this is a quite different subject. And I said, I spend more hours than the participants, but I take back my words. There are more participants. Let me put forth, when I talked Sastry that I speak on this material evolution, he thought I was talking about, the evolution of matter. No. I'm talking about the materials which are important for the present day world. So the present day world uses around more than a lakh of engineering materials. And also 3 to 4 lakhs of total materials for which the base is all chemistry and chemical substances. If we understand this spectrum, it is very easy to develop systems because system requires one of the functional properties which are, I'll talk about them in the classification, very, very important. So I will talk about the past, which is supposed to go back even to a millennium. But I will more concentrate on present with the activities that I was associated in the last 30-35 years. Then I will definitely look into the future because future is always more important. If we live in the past and present, we will never able to see the tomorrow's present. Okay? So future I like to call it tomorrow's present. Role model, political visionary. For 2 reasons, Parekar sir is very jovial. Okay? He can handhold with anybody. Secondly, he is very, very strict about the values and also the time. The traits which are very, very uncommon in political leaders and leaders of his nature. And it's my fortune that I worked on 4 committees that he had headed. And he's also a metallurgist. Yesterday Dr. Satish Reddy mentioned, we used to have meetings when Dr. Satish used to be on the right hand side and Christopher sir on the left hand side. Okay, so I don't know why I preferred that, but that's how it used to be because Satish sir was an advisor and Christopher sir was an outsider compared to a minister. Advisor is always a first companion. So Satish sir always was on the right hand side. And he is the one who had also inducted me as a chairman of the Stealth Materials Subcommittee in the National Material Policy. And finally, when I said, sir, I'm going to write a few books, then he had really encouraged. In fact, he encouraged even Sastry Garu to a great extent. If we owe a single defense minister, maybe exception of Rajnath sir, who had banned several systems from import, I don't see any other defense minister. Maybe we don't know what Venkatraman sir had done. We heard stories about it, but definitely these two gentlemen stand apart. Next. I'll be very brief here afterwards. The slides will be very highly loaded. Please don't expect me to speak on all the aspects that I put it in the slide. But one complaint that I always receive, usually you don't speak on everything, whatever is there in the slide. You only passing make comments. That's the purpose of doing it. I would like to give a canvas to the people to think about what they can do, and rather than try to do in 20 minutes what all I know about the subject. So I'm going to do the past. Please go ahead. The past is the history and heritage. I'm not an expert on materials heritage, let me admit, and also my apologies. But next slide. You see this, the metallurgy past or materials past. Every second element, 40 elements are named after countries. 20 odd elements in the periodic table are named after the objects which we all love to call them even gods and heroes in the Greek mythology. And India especially, even today, leads in zinc metallurgy. Many people do not know that. The zinc is the one which has taken India to the world stage, and then zinc metallurgy is very, very important. Many people know that zinc is a highly electronegative compared to many metals. But in extreme conditions, zinc becomes a what you call anodic and then consumes itself to save the whole structure. So that's how the zinc metallurgy was mastered by Indians. And as this slide goes by, you will be able to see. And also, please repeat it. This is the first place in Singhbhum, in Jharkhand, earlier Bihar. Suppose it's the first ever surface which has evolved on this earth 3 billion years ago. Okay? So that research work. So I just took the snippet to say that why it is occurring, because physically thicker and chemically lighter. This is what is the materials about. We want to have a segregation of materials from one to other so that a liquid and solid get separated. That's how it is this small island it erupted, then it had become a whole earth. Next. This is my teacher of par excellence. I have not seen anybody come near to him, either in terms of academic degrees or in terms of his eloquence in speaking, the greatest orator. And you should look at his students. We have Ajay, my classmate, is ranked world number 7 in materials and metallurgy. And I figure out very next to him because of the year of we passed together, not for any other reason. Okay, you will see several great people in this. Professor Ramarao sir. And mark 2 people here, Professor Ranganathan sir and Professor Late Bala is my 1 year senior, for 2 reasons. Next. Before that, let me tell that Professor Anantaraman, when he came back from UK, within 5 years, he started teaching Vedic metallurgy. And Professor N.P. Gandhi, who is a nephew of Mahatma Gandhi, when he was the principal at Banaras, he invited Anantaraman sir from ISC to Banaras to lead the metallurgical engineering department. And he delivered N.P. Gandhi Memorial Lecture in 1973, and he talked about Indian metallurgy and its heritage. And if you see the IIM volume, you will see a masterpiece document on Indian metallurgical heritage. Later, he had also become like a yogi. He had instituted a separate center, just like our VIT, and then he printed Bhagavad Gita at the cost of 2 rupees from Bangalore in 1960. And then freely distributed 500 copies, whosoever came to use. That time 2 rupees was a large money. And then this is one of the last copies which is given to me. So I reproduced it at the Anantaraman Trust, and then it will be available online after some time. So this is the person, if I would like to say that metallurgy has a heritage in the heritage. It's a heritage of metals and materials that is a fundamental subject. Next one. This is his own disciple. Bala used to take Anantaraman sir's name like anything. He's a little crazy senior of mine. We also used to call him father. 1 year senior is always father. So Bala is a great person. I will over drinks only I can tell how he had done this book. How actually the Delhi pillar never get rusted. Nobody in the world could touch and then get the chemical composition of this pillar, but Bala did it in a very ingenious way. And he is a person who used to go to Himalayas and some remote place with his laptop and then sit down for 2-3 months and then come up with a book. This is one of that book. If you read this and the subsequent books, you will know why India is so great. Okay? There are several of that kind. Can we go to the next one? He himself had written this Indian Iron through ages. Look at the finalities. After almost thousands of years, this structure remained the final details of the nose and the tip of it and the lips. Everything is fantastically retained, even in the most, abusive conditions. We never take pride in our heritage. 400, 500 years monuments in Europe, they get, a treatment like they will be having this kind of a display units where people have to pay through their nose to get to see them. But our own heritage, we take them as a stone and keep it as a souvenir in our house, which is a crime. Next one. So these are the two fantastic books. Sharada Srinivasan man had written 4 volumes on Indian heritage on gold, silver, zinc and mercury. And these are the ones which had made us proud that India had a heritage and knowledge, because metallurgy is nothing but art and science. It's not a mathematical sort of a thing. It's an extension of science. So if you take metallurgy as an extension of science, we said that how that science has become so valuable to the society, and there is an international publications by Indian author Mishraji. The alien metallurgy had written from US. Then we have a fantastic handbook. Only through analytical techniques, I mentioned about it in my beginning of the talk, how analytical techniques have made materials unique. So these are the books I would like you to read, not that, the past I can read and tell in 20 minutes what was the past. Next one. So this is a special one where this seminar was conducted by Dwarka Das and brothers. There is a uniqueness of this family. The family of 5 brothers, all of them are either postgraduates or doctoral students or the faculty of University of Science. And they, from their personal money and the family money, they erected this, a national institute on Vedic sciences. Sri Vedanta Desika. And I put a question in my open blog. Why they selected Lord Lakshmi Narasimha, Garuda and Raghavendra Singh as the sequence? I leave it to you as a question. Why that sequence? But these proceedings are also available in the ISC Bangalore library. And if you want to get up to 2018, what are the Indian heritage in metals and materials related to mathematics, science and technology, please go through those proceedings. Wonderful seminar, and it is conducted in a 1 day's time in a Tata auditorium. The fantastic proceedings. Next one. But I love this, I never seen any visionary better than Arunachala. He is the one to mount programs in DRDO, bring it from a test house to a system generating organization, made it almost the top. His favorite used to be this slide. I remember making this transparency for him in multicolor. When he came from US, he had brought this, and then, one of the visits he went in 1980s, brought this. In 86, he took this slide, and then he talked about how 12,000 years of materials development and evolution had taken place. And this is the one, but I find in this, every important engineering material is mentioned. And it is given as a relative importance. And the lacuna is, you add up any stage, it should become 100, it doesn't. Okay? So it is not mathematical. It's only a schematic or representative. But what we find in 1960s, the materials have taken almost one-third shape in terms of advanced metals, polymers and ceramics. That's when there is an optimum mix of material research happening. Thereafter, we have composites predominating and metals coming down. But mind it, again, the functional materials in the nano are ever evading compared to anything else. And this seminar should throw a lot of light and then show new directions so that in the next 20 years, the materials will be altogether different. Next one. And another slide is, this one he got Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar Award. This one he had received his Bharat Padma Vibhushan. And these are the Lifetime Achievement Award from Parekar sir in 2016. Next one. So I made it is a quantified numbers? No. Is it a importance, relative importance? How do we know? It's also not, it's only vaguely referred. So, but sir took a lot of interest in making this titanium and zirconium as an Indian heritage and Indian important material. And then in fact, he is the one to bring Indian coin of 5 rupees with titanium. Only to see that titanium gets into the usage in the quantities that will become the titanium production economically. Till that time, no titanium was produced at an international cost. To bring that, he got the coinage into titanium. So that's the visionary he has. In fact, he said, every utensil you use should be replaced from stainless steel to titanium. It doesn't have lush yet. Indian public will not use it. Okay? But it's a 10 times more corrosion resistant compared to stainless steels, which are more costly. It's okay. Next one. The another important thing is, this covers only 12,000 years. In humanity, if you remember, we said the first earth crust has surfaced 3 billion years back. So if you put it as a scale of 100 years, okay, after Maga Yuga, because you people will understand much more than what I do, it covers only 3 months, what we know about material evolution. Rest everything is speculative. This itself also, Sastry Garu had collected more than 3 lakh documents. No other person had done that kind of an effort. Okay, so until otherwise there is a documentation and proof, now human brain will not work to accept any fact. The fact has to be a proof. So the proof has to be generated. So it's only we have in these 12,000 years also, I don't know how many people of you know, Jains are the first one to script anything on paper in 8th century. Till that time, Indian, this thing is only a hearsay. After that only we started getting our own scripts, and we had a few of documents from 16th and 17th centuries, and a few of them are retained in total. So that is the kind of Indian heritage value we have. Maybe it is even fractional, 6 sigma ka 1 and will go off. We have failure of 1 in 10 lakhs, that means the aircraft is not useful at all. Maybe our documentation also at that level. What knowledge we have is only 1 billion. So we can imagine how much the Indian heritage would have been and how much value it would have generated. Next one. So this is who had motivated me to work, Dr. Baldera said. He said publications are the life of a scientist. This is when I went to Similac. Oh, Similac is wonderful for documentation. You will have to do thousands of pages to get any small, even 1 kilogram material certified. Sastry Garu yesterday in his speech he mentioned, somebody asked him to get it certified. Thank God he did not do that. Otherwise he would have been repenting that he had gone to certification. As a certification director, regional director, I was telling you. But what Baldera sir said is, Ishwar, you have such a vast amount of data lying in Similac, please utilize that. I started writing these books actually on his instance, aeronautical books, which have become Guinness record. But in between, I was requested by the aluminum lithium book to be coming up from Elsevier, because I refused in 1994 to write an aluminum lithium book from Pergamon. But Elsevier approached me, I wrote in between this, and then this got published much earlier than this. But what is most important is, please go through this book if you want to look at the engineering applications and the basis for what we have to do to get into lightweighting. Right from zinc, magnesium alloys up to advanced composites are all covered in this 3rd volume. And Dan Miracle's article I would like you to see, the AFIR director who had given that, and a fantastic book. And then these two are the latest. Please don't buy them. Try to take copies from somebody. They are extremely costly. Each book is more than 20,000 rupees. So please don't waste your money if it is for personal purpose. But what is most important is, Baldev sir had also made me to realize that I should spend daily 2-3 hours on publications, whatever the activity you write. So that had made me, you can imagine, till I went to him, my citations, number of citations, hardly 1,000 or 1,200 like any other normal defense scientist. It went up to 4,000 plus, and then my I index had gone from 14 to 107 in 7 to 10 years. Okay. So 2015 I started extensively publishing, and that's where the index had happened. And if you all might remember, the big line in India said is defined by Dr. Professor CNR sir. Anybody want to call you a worthwhile scientist at international level, you should have a H index of his age, which is not at all possible for a defense scientist, let me tell you. We have 2 reasons. One is we cannot publish that extensively as academician. Secondly is, we should not also publish. If you give your ERIPR to the open world, the world is a cruel one. When it comes to money, it is the cruelest. We have to guard our rupee and to use it only for the Indian society. If everybody thinks about only publication, personal benefit, then the nation will be left with nothing but only pride, no prosperity. Next one. So coming to the present level, you all understand only from the defense in a small lab, how many products India has developed in the last 10 years. Dr. Satish Reddy talked about the emphasis Government of India has placed on indigenous production. Can we go to the next slide? These are the products that we have generated and given it to the Indian industry in terms of technology transfer, and all of them are done. In fact, I was mentioning to one of the organizers, the shaft technology of Jodhpur saved our Air Force from the immediate attack. Okay, it diverges our own fighter aircrafts, and then people will not know exactly that our aircraft is lying the moment you put a little bit of shaft and then bomb it. And nano is one of the wonderful things, and VIT can do that. And then several of these composites, second and third versions are required for the nation. To tell you frankly, the titanium half-alloys is a 20 years effort. We still do not have it in India at the diameters less than 8 millimeters. It goes through what is called impulse fatigue loading, and then the scatter in the life is too high for any aeronautical applications. So we don't have it, and half of the aircraft will be down if we don't have that product. Many of these products are so crucial, with one of the material or a product doesn't come up, we'll have to put the system down. One glaring example is the aero engine. So much discussion about it. Next one. These are some of the products that I proudly present it, because DMSRDE is supposed to be a sleeping giant or a dead elephant. So when I said we have already given this active army participation, there was people did not like me actually. You always talk too much, But when I said these are the documented, evidences, our chairman said, we should get so much revenue or royalty. See, that is the kind of thing. Many contributions go unnoticed because we do it as a routine from the government service, because it's a servant. Job is for servants, not for making money. It is making the country proud with our own indigenous production. Next one. These are the systems, classical systems, where we can make India export their defense products. And let me tell you, the Arjun experience is already documented as a DRDO monograph. If you read that, you will see the struggle of 45 years. How we have gone through. And similarly, bulletproof jacket. I've been the architect of that, but the amount of criticism it has received before it becomes success is a turnaround. There was a time, one of our own director generals threw the jacket, we successfully fired, threw it because it was not, a confirmed report did not come, and he did not want to show it to Manmohanji. Okay? But in the very next exhibition, when Christopher sir came, the parliamentary committee wanted that as the first exhibit. In fact, the TBRL has put only a slide on that, and this one. And suddenly our position was changed, and then we had become the prominent display. And most important is the serpentine structure which is required for stealth application. Tell you in the world, nobody has done this experiment, the serpentine exhaust for aircraft. Next one. Chairman is already looking at the watch. These are the systems. India has already become a world leader, and many more to come. Next one. So, these are the programs I am going to spend my next 5 years to talk about science behind these systems, how it has got done. This is my passion. This will be the volumes I will be looking forward to finalizing with my authors. And I tell you, each one is an effort of 40 to 50 years. And this is one of the best that this slide is one of the best that I can project to show cause the Indian achievements at the international level. If I were to put all the Indian scientists put together, there will be another 100, 150 material development programs. And all departments put together will be another 300, 400 materials. I might repair the entire slide only to show that. So this is the kind of effort India makes. But none of them realize because we are not able to generate enough money from that in the production. We are losing, as Dr. Satish Reddy said, manufacturing and manufacturing technologies. We are lacking not the technologies, we are lacking the equipment to make the products. India doesn't have any equipment or production facility making capability. We always import, then we have to import the entire production cycle. So we are ever dependent. Okay, next one. So the third part is the future. I will very quickly cover in 5 minutes. So these are mostly cited as not strategic. So the advantage for you, any one of you to take it up. Next one. The first is how it is being done theoretically. You don't have to go with the the routine way of making, shaping, treating to get something. Okay? You can only do it from your mind. Okay? Indian Maharshis have done everything from their meditation. All Vedas which are supposed to come, even Lord Brahma lost the Vedic knowledge compared to Lord Vishnu and Shiva because his fifth head has gone. Okay? So he has borrowed the 4 Vedas only from Maya and then did the entire Srishti. Similarly, from an atomic level, from a subatomic particle modeling, you can go up to kilometers of structures, like aircraft carrier is a 1.5 kilometer or 750 to 1 kilometer long. So you can do all that thing with any material doing a computational material science. It's a leading program in DMR. Next one. Similarly, you can do computation materials, mechanics for several other applications. And then, let me tell you, aero engine will not come until we do what is a transitional stress strain analysis which goes from micro to macro deformation. Until you understand the very crucial dislocation mechanisms, we will never get our grade. Next one. These are the ones which are India requires in billions of numbers, not millions. The flexi electronics, the electronics which will be there on our shirt, pant, or even on our mobile, everywhere the flexi electronics are required. These are the technologies and these are the applications only in the defense. If I have to write the other departments, again this slide will become very busy slide. Next one. And these are the production technologies, very few of them. But India doesn't have a single fab which can do this, single fab. And they only news that XYZ collaborations are coming. But why not? India has so much black money or money underneath our cots. Why can't we take it out? Because we don't believe in our own genius. Whatever is the 150, 160 lakh GDP, India always in the circulation of 500 to 600 lakh crores. Why can't we invest in this kind of products and export them? We can do it, provided we have strength in and faith in our engineers. Next one. And these are some of the things which I have taken from the internet. And they are now today are present products that you and me buy. Either they are hidden inside the system or outside, they are all there. Okay? So this is a quick requirement of flexi electronic devices. There is a center in Kanpur, flexi electronics. Anybody does it, that center is mandated by Government of India to help them. Next one. So these are some of the nanomaterials. All of you are interested in nanomaterials. If you can do any of these nanomaterials, These are all there in the books that I have published in the last volumes. If you can do this material by alternate methods, as Dr. Reddy had defined it as cheaper, alternate, but same capability or functionality, you will have large market. Next one. This is a beautiful slide. One of the many awards in the metallography contest. They should look, something very beautiful. Flowers like this. These are all materials, around micro or even nano size. You can see such a beautiful flower. It's a nature. Science is nothing but study of nature. So once you study the nature and able to explain and take it with a mathematical formulation or empirical formulation to a product, that is a technology. Once we have the technologies, many technologies put together for a purpose will give us a system. So this is the network that we have to do. Next one. These are the fantastic products that we have done, the sensors, and already these are competed. Indian itself, 10 prototypes have come when the ministry had put it for the open advertisement for procurement. So such is the competition. But look at the products that India is not making a headway. You only look at the imported items and then do the replacement. Good enough. Next one. And then next one. These are the ones that are torpedoes. Many people do not know many advanced explosives require special properties and special durations as well as lifetime. If you understand the chemical nature of a substance, how it gets degraded, you will be able to get the system very easily. And this is the one what is called is the number of cycles. Look at the efficiency drop. If you can improve it the 10,000 to 90%, you have a world leader in this field. So that is the kind of improvement we require to get. So what is the capacitance given? 594 is the farad of gram, is the specification given by the Navy. And imagine that is if it is put it at 10,000 cycle in 2000 instead of 2500, we have no product worldwide to obtain. That is the importance of spec. Okay, next one. So these are, everybody talks about nowadays artificial intelligence and the machine learning languages. Doesn't work for science. Human brain, which is HR, okay, human intelligence, far superior in correlating. If you look at the neural networks, what a brain can do, it's only 1,000 that advanced computer will do. What people are expecting is when the phonon and phonon technologies come up, the phonon data transfer rate, if you can filter the useful solutions from such computation, it might become little applicable for some of the jobs that we do daily. For example, if I pick up a coffee or a cup of coffee, what is the concentration of sugar I put? What is how much coffee powder I put? That can be a robo can do, and robo will become much more smoother to move instead of a stepwise. That kind of a thing only is possible. But several marketable solutions are coming. We are paying heavily for that, and all these are Indians only. Our own brothers and sisters are doing elsewhere, and then we are paying for them. I never take any feel bad if I use some GPS system without paying it, because my own brother or sister would have done it. But it is important that we do it in the country so that we will never get the blame. Next one. This is the fighter aircrafts. F stands for fighter. The fighter aircrafts are US, F-15, F-16. Still one of the best. Rafales, MiGs. We are replacing only earlier versions. MiG-29 is one of the best in the world. Don't think that MiG is inferior compared to many. Sukhoi is the best medium weight aircraft. And LCA is one of the best by design. In the 10-10 category, there is no aircraft which can beat LCA. Even LCA-1, Mark 1. Only thing we require is India doesn't have enough money to weaponize it very quickly. And then we have to weaponize that one. I'll show you next slide.
So we can conclude now.
Yeah. This is the Astra missile that I gave the first the provisional clearance, and then this is the first trial which became successful. You know what is the trial? Only release this missile from this aircraft without this cockpit getting touched. Now there is a trajectory for the missile. If it reaches the trajectory, then this mission is successful. For which I have given a first by national award. Okay. So this is the kind of thing, we require. Indian government had ordered 5,000 missiles to be produced by the BDL, Hyderabad unit. Sometimes you go and see the missile, at least you can see. Okay, this is a fantastic achievement. Next one. So this is the one where Indian government wants to spend 1 lakh crores. AMCA. World over, they are doing, last 50 years, what you call research. Then a stealth can be obtained by shape or by materials. But it's a mixture of two. One cannot do the job of the other. Okay, when we do that, we'll have the AMCA aircraft. When it gets matured, only with the material and shaping and using all the technologies I talked about, India can be maybe exporting the only fighter aircraft the world would like to have. Invisible aircraft. Next one. So this is the one I would like to leave it to the Vedic people. We have heard of Pushpak Viman. There is a popular saying, there is space for one more person all the time. Imagine the aerostat, which will be like this room big. But if you pump lithium into it, it will become this building big. Helium into it, it will become this building big. Imagine if you can pump hydrogen. Okay? But there is no material in the world which will have a pore size which will contain hydrogen to a cycle that the aerostat can go from here to even Madhapur center and come back. Hydrogen will get diffused there. Helium, neon is possible, but they also do not do the commercial application. So this is another, aerostat is a fantastic one, and it's powered by the ink, solar powered nano ink. That is what we did. Next. So I will leave it with the fantastic video my friend had shared, and then you can, while the video is going on, you can read my concluding slides. Thank you.
Thank you, Prasad Garu. Very informative lectures and your vast experience and regarding materials to almost devices. So this is wonderful experience for our all students. So we can quickly have one or two.
Sir, you are telling titanium we can use it for our defense as well. But titanium it is costing 10 lakhs. Then how we can use it in defense and other?
See, the titanium is heavily price fluctuating.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you have to talk to your users whether they want titanium to be replaced by 50 CVD steel. If it is not, please don't attempt it. Your user should agree to pay that much higher money. Okay, there is no way when the price difference is 3 times, you can convince a user to fall down, fall back for your system.
Coming 10 times more.
Yes.
Then how we can utilize this titanium alloy?
Don't utilize it.
Then how we can improve that?
You improve it in the normal steel means better design.
So how we can decrease?
See, we are not an advanced country, or we have billions of dollars to invest for a normal system and then use the exotic materials. Mercedes car uses titanium. I worked on that. Or aluminum composites. India is not rich enough. See, the costing factor is very, very important. Next
one
one.
thing, sir, is carbon fiber, sir. That is the most.
We don't have carbon fiber in India produced, we are importing.
Why we don't have that facility in India?
We don't have.
Why, sir? That's what.
It's very complicated. See, carbon can be produced at technology, but the grade of carbon that we get, okay, or the carbon from the pitch we get is not technologically suitable.
Now I would like to ask our session chair, Dr. Bharat Kale Garu, to present memento, shawl and certificate to our speaker.
Thank you, sir, for your time and very
Thank you, sir.
First